All right. My name is Amy Zravist. I'm the Facility Access Coordinator for CHES facility. I handle all your oddity requests. I deal with the Morse Watchmen that are in all the shops. And as of October 2024, we redid the master key handling guidelines. So today I'm going to present to you the key handling guidelines. Please pay attention. You're 100% responsible anytime you take a key, university key out of the Morse Watchman. It is your responsibility until it is put back in the Morse Watchman or safe. So I'm going to start with the type of keys that we have and use with CHES facilities. We have a Grandmaster key. For student workers, that's not really something you'll need to be concerned. It is against university protocol for any student worker to handle a Grandmaster key. Underneath the Grandmaster key is a building master key. If you're over at College 9, each res hall has a master key and it just works on that res hall. In the apartments, you might have a bedroom master or an exterior door master key. So those would be kind of separate. And so when we're referring to a master key, it controls and opens doors for a complex, a building or whatnot. And then underneath that, you have your individual room, office keys, and those are changed out with a control key. So now that we've sort of defined the different types of keys, I want to talk a little bit about what it means once you've taken a key out. So you are considered a key handler once you've taken a key out of the shop, out of the Morse Watchman. You are responsible for that key until it's returned. So you will, as the key holder, you have to follow some procedures. Keys need to be affixed to your person. We use that by a key back or a snap bolt. I recommend the key back, that way it can always stay affixed to your belt or belt loop. And basically you can use it to unlock the door and then it stays affixed to your person. The snap bolt relies on you removing it from your belt loop, undoing the opening the door and snapping it back on. I guarantee you once or twice a year, somebody does not affix it back to their belt loop. They put it in a coat pocket and it goes home with them. And then I get a call after hours that somebody has taken, not returned a key, and it's in their coat pocket and on their way back to put it back in the Morse Watchman. So just try to be mindful of that. ID cards, your student ID cards that you use while you're working are considered a master key and or even considered a Grandmaster key. They need to be affixed to your person with a lanyard. That's why we provide you shop cards. Once you're done with your shift, they should go back into whatever location the supervisor is designated for them to go into. And then that's why the shop card just opens the shop door. It's maybe, 4 to 10 doors opposed to your ID card, which can be anywhere from 1,000 to, myself, I have over 4,000 doors on it. So at the end of the day, all university keys and cards need to be in a secured location. Once you've taken the key out, you're responsible for that key until it's returned. If you're working with a buddy and you're going to leave to go to class, or you're going to leave to go to lunch, and the person you're working with is like, well, I'm going to keep working, can you give me the key? That's against our protocol. We show you as checking out the key, you're responsible for returning the key. If that person fails to do so, you're the person responsible for it. So I would be like, sorry, follow me back to the Morris Watchman, put it in, you can take it right back out. I know it's inconvenient, but at the end of the day, that's the process. So what happens when we lose a key or a card? The moment you realize you've lost your key or your card, you need to notify your supervisor right away. Your supervisor from there will take steps to notify the appropriate person, myself, their supervisor, and then we go on from there, doing what we need to do happen. You will immediately stop what you're doing and start retracing your steps to find the lost key or card. And that's where I'm going to focus on keys right now. We'll go back to cards. That's kind of where the process sort of separates. You're going to backtrack every place that you've been. If you were working in an apartment bedroom, you're going to go back into that apartment bedroom and look around for the keys. If you happen to walk by a housing office or a dining hall, recommend you go in and check and see if anybody turned any keys in, or your card, and you will keep doing that. Your supervisor may pull other students or staff to go help you and retrace all your steps. And in which case, that is what you're going to do. If the key is not found within 4 hours, I will start writing a lost key action report. I will present that to Bill, who will then move it up the chain. I will also CC the lock shop. Sometimes we may think a key just opens one door. The lock shop will be like, actually, this opens multiple doors. And from there, we do a risk assessment of the impact if somebody were to find that key and use it for ill intentions. And from there, powers above us will determine if we're going to do an emergency rekey. But until that key is found, you will keep looking for it. Card is a little bit different. You will keep looking for that card. After 8 hours, we start with a perimeter in approach. Secure can be turned off remotely, so we end your access, which is mostly the perimeter of a building. However, there are some secure perimeters, like Stevenson, and we then go and we make an override card, and you're responsible for dipping it in any perimeter. After 24 hours, because we assume if somebody finds the card and they try it, I mean, hopefully they wouldn't have access, because you should never write your PIN number on the card. That's one of the security features. However, there are some doors on campus that don't require a PIN. There are some dining doors, and then there's the shop doors. You need to dip the override card, removing your old access from the door. So if somebody were to find it, they couldn't get into the shop and steal thousands of dollars worth of tools. And then if after 24 hours you still don't find it, even though the perimeters are secure, you need to go dip it in every room door that has an oddity lock on it. And that continues until you've overridden all the locks in your area. It's not a fun process, but that is the process. So the long or the short of it is, don't lose your card. Don't lose keys. Be very mindful of them when you have them on you. There are some other process and protocols when you're handling university keys. University keys are not allowed to leave campus, only in certain circumstances. If you work at UTC, you would check them out of the Morris Watchman box that has the UTC's keys, and you would go to the UTC to do your work and return and put them back in the Morris Watchman. Transporting, my office is off campus. I have to transport keys on and off, but I'm going from a university location to a university location. If you are on shift and taking your lunch break, you need to return the keys. You should also return your card, because you are not working in a university capacity. Or if you are leaving campus to go pick up tools at Home Depot. You were off campus. Home Depot is not a university location. You need to put everything back. So be very mindful and check your pockets before you leave shift or you leave campus to do some sort of work function if you don't need anything. If something happens, I can recommend a course of action, more training, going over, university protocol and procedure and stuff like that. But I won't do anything. I just give recommendations. Any actual somebody talking to you, talking about what happened, that would all come from your supervisor. Um, so I want to be, very like the Morse Watchman sends out daily alerts. I get all those daily alerts of what is going on with keys. If keys at the I get an end of the day report and I might be like, is so-and-so still on ship? Yes. Great. That means the keys should still be out. Or no, that person's been off since noon. Well, then we have a problem. So yeah, I get a ton of emails every day for every Morse Watchman box on campus. If you leave the door open, I get an alert. If you didn't check out the keys, but a friend of yours is like, oh wait, leave the Morse Watchman box open and puts them in, it shows that you returned the keys. I get an alert that a different user returned the keys. If you have the keys out more than 8 hours, I get an alert that the key is still out, depending on the level of key that is checked out. So your responsibility is to be mindful of those keys on your person the moment you check them out from the shop until you return them. They are your responsibility. You are considered a key holder. Professional staff who have Morse Watchmans in their shop are considered key custodians. They need to notify me if there's an issue with the Morse Watchman. Or if a key is broken. If you go to use an apartment master key and it breaks off in the door and it needs to be replaced, you need to let your supervisor or the key custodian of that key box know so they can notify me so I can order a replacement key. Also, you probably got to go fish the broken end of the key out of the lock so the door is usable. I think, yeah, I think that's all of that. So kind of in summary, you're only in agreement to remove master keys from their secure location to perform your job duty. Also, student workers can only have one master key out at a time because student workers in facilities handling master keys, that is an exception to university policy. So if you want to say you need more than one key, my response is don't be the reason why this exception is ended and we can't give you any master keys. In this role, you agree to lock the keys in their designated secure location when you're not using the keys. You understand that university keys and cards can't be taken off campus unless it's for campus, going to another campus that's an off-campus location. And you understand that in case of loss or theft of university keys or cards, you'll notify your supervisor immediately and follow the lost key protocol. And if there's any issue with you being able to get in the Morse Watchman or secure your keys, that you notify me right away. It could be for some reason there's a power outage and you can't get the keys back. Basically, Amy, I couldn't return key set, blah, blah, blah. It's in the safe in my supervisor's office. Great. I know that the keys are secured. And I know that there was an issue, or for some reason, my fingerprints aren't working on the Morse Watchman, but the keys are secured in the safe. Or my supervisor's desk that's in their office. So all that is very important things for me to know. And it tells me the keys are secure and I got to go see what's wrong with the Morse Watchman. So hopefully this helps you, but also make sure that you read and sign the key handling guideline that your supervisor should have shared with you. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.